my way. Gone on the dark clouds that have me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, bright sunshiny day. Yeah. It's gonna be a bright, bright, bright sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 bright sunshiny day. Oh yeah. Is that the thumbs up? All right.
Are we live?
We are live.
We are live.
I'm gonna do a song though. That was not even the song.
By all means, do a song.
That was just the warm up. Johnny Nash. Johnny Nash. I think it was and then it was covered by reggae one. He's one of the reggae one. What version do you know?
We'll talk about it someday.
On and we go, on and on we go, on and on we go, on and on we go. When I was younger, oh cowabunga, I wonder what the world may share. As I got growing, hungry for knowing, I heard a whisper in the air. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. Go get it now, on and on we go, on and on we go, on and on we go, on and on we go. I met this lady, I asked her maybe, do dreams come true, then where? I lost my youth, she said the truth, don't always care to be fair. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. Go get it now. On and on we go, on and on we go, on and on we go, on and on we go. I heard a preacher who came to teach us just how easily we scare. Now he's long gone, still we march on, and getting closer I swear. I held a dreamer who stopped their dreaming, their dreams beyond compare. Said I could have them there, dreams are worth having, it's just the way over there. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. It's quite a ways over there, sweet kid. It's quite a ways over there. Go get it now. Happy Sunday, everybody. Here we are. On we go towards peace.
Fabulous. Okay, now we're on. So, hello to all of you. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. I'm so happy that you are here. It is not a black Sunday. It is a very white Sunday here, and we're just celebrating it. So I'm just thrilled that you're here. And I want to say hello to everybody there in the virtual land. Hello from Fallbrook, where the avocados run free. And last week I heard that our service was being broadcast on the road. From the Bay Area to Oregon. So to all of you, we just love you and happy there. So before I go on, one thing. So would you play, please, just a couple beats of the song before I can see clearly?
Oh, yeah. Totally. A couple beats.
Just a little bit so we all recognize the song.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
Okay, Johnny Nash, we all know that. So somebody covered that and made it famous, a woman. Who was that? Does anyone remember? I can see clearly now the rain.
Petula Clark?
Was it? It wasn't Petula Clark. I was saying it was Dusty Springfield, but I don't think it was Dusty Springfield. Do you guys know out there? Anyway, firing my put it in the comments. Yeah. It's going to make me obsessed. But anyway, other than that, I'm just thrilled that you guys are here. And now that I can just do whatever I want to do with that, we'll do that how it is. So let's see, a lot going on. But before we do then, let's check in. Jim, how you doing? Good? Have a good Thanksgiving?
Fantastic.
Fabulous. The family rolled in?
Not this time, so it was a little more quiet, but we'll have it for Christmas.
Very good, very good, very good. And I know that Lee we were talking earlier, so he and his son take a dive in the ocean. That's part of their
Polar bear plunge.
Polar bear plunge.
Polar bear plunge as San Diego can get. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's bad and it's cold enough. Anyway, it's fabulous. And you had a good Thanksgiving with your son Kai?
Lovely, yeah, just the two of us, and I felt grateful for just the simplicity of it and the beach, and it was the first time he used the big knife to start helping cooking in the kitchen, so that was a little risky, but wonderful to see. He did it, no accidents.
Good. I got a cut. Yeah, and Liz, good to see you, my dear.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here. Love being on platform. And I had a great Thanksgiving, and how about everybody else?
Well, good.
It's my favorite holiday. Isn't it great?
It's the American Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anne Murray? Anne Murray. Anne Murray. Okay,
She's
good.
Canadian.
You guys, put your phones away now, but thank you. So, let's see. A couple things coming down. So, next week is December 3rd. A couple things about that. One is there is a holiday decorating party next Saturday from 10 to noon. If you'd like to come and we'll start tuning this up. It's also the first night of Hanukkah, so we'll be celebrating everything, and we'll be starting Advent. And my theme for the month is going to be in search of the historic Jesus and the cosmic Christ. And I'll kind of do a little bit of a preview of my talk today, just kind of that's where I've been nerding out. Let's see. Starting in January, I'll be doing a class which I'm very excited about. It's called New Thought for the 21st Century. It will be starting on January, I can't see, 14th? 18th. We pushed it back a week.
16th.
I can't see that way.
17th.
January 16th is Tuesday, January 17th.
Thank you. Yeah, we had pushed it back a week so that it didn't conflict with Valentine's Day, is what it was. So anyway, yes, on Tuesday nights it's on Zoom, and Wednesday nights it's live here. I'm really excited about it. It's a way to get real swirly and do deep dives into some of our ideas and concepts, and it's a great way to make friends. And Liz is going to talk about supporting the center coming later on, and Andrea is going to make an announcement about the gift shop. Fabulous.
Marilyn, what's the big announcement?
So we are supporting ornaments for orphans. So it's for Uganda, Nepal, Kenya, and Peru. So starting next Sunday, we'll have a tree, and all the ornaments are for sale. And we try to do that a lot in the gift shop, that we support different places, different things, if you know places to support. So I just want you to know that Ornaments for Orphans is coming to the gift shop. Thank you. Marilyn, come down. Marilyn has a little announcement.
Yes, the toe chappers that we perform.
Got to be on the mic so they can hear in the virtual world.
I mean, I can't talk loud enough. Okay. Some time ago, a long time ago, we used to perform here too, the Toe Tappers of San Diego. And Bob here is our MC. And I just want to let everybody know that December 14th at 11:15 at the Fallbrook Senior Center, and that's at Fallbrook and that other little street. I can't remember the name. But anyway, December 14th, that's on a Thursday, I believe, and it's at 11:15. The Toe Tappers will do our Christmas show.
Fabulous. All right. Okay.
All right. Are
Shall
we ready to do church?
So let's do something.
I'm Liz, and I'm your practitioner of service this morning, and I'm really happy to be here. And we talk about Thanksgiving, and the reading that I have this morning is continuing that thought of abundance and gratitude. And I am so grateful that all of you are here, and that I'm here to be able to be of service, and we have a prayer meeting after, a prayer circle after church, and so we continue to spread the joy and the feeling of gratitude that I try to start each of my mornings with, to say first words, thank you. Thank you for this new day. Thank you for so much. Thank you, Great Spirit, for our lives, for all of it. So no matter what your path is, you are welcome here. And we are an open, universal, all-accepting philosophy and place to share a community and be with each other, and hopefully bring each other up a little bit each day. Since there is a lot going on in the world, and I look at all of us as beacons of light that this world so much needs. And my prayer is that there will be peace upon this planet eventually, and if we continue to spread that light, I do believe that that is a possibility, no matter what is going on. So if you choose to pray, just get grounded in your seat and comfortable, and know that God is here, that Spirit is here, and that same Spirit is a Spirit that unites all of us on this beautiful blue planet. No matter what is going on, that this essence of energy, of spirit, resides within each and every single one of us. And we come here this morning to not only acknowledge that, but to share in a community that uplifts us and brings that energy to a higher level, so that we may feel that peace and light within our own beingness, and that we can then give it out to all that need it, and for all that are suffering, let us bring them light and love and healing, knowing that God is all there is and love is all there is. And one cannot be in fear if we are in love. So the word for today is abundance and gratitude, and just really being joyous for all that we are given. Knowing this, I bless this service, that I know that the music and Reverend Guy's words and the community and the food afterward and everything that we do, that we share in this joy. Thank you for being here. And I just ask that we all just lift our hearts, keep them open, let the words and the music just fill us with joy and love. And with this deep, deep gratitude, together we say, and so it is. And the reading that I have actually selected is from myself. And reflecting on, as I said, Thanksgiving and the joy of what it means to me and the sharing with family, with loved ones. I say, acknowledging the good that we already have in our life is the foundation for all abundance. It is through gratitude for the present moment that the spiritual dimension of life opens up. And I know when I feel good for the little things in life, the smell of coffee, a fireplace, looking at my dog's eyes, looking at nature, looking at a most beautiful sunrise and sunset, I am lifted. And that is the gratitude that I am speaking of in life, that so many times I overlook. And with the emphasis on commercialism more than anything else, it is the time to be within and go within and just be silent and in that gratitude. So I invite you all to join in for 3 minutes of silent meditation, taking the words of gratitude of all the abundance that we have within our lives, and to give thanks for that. And so it is. And we slowly come back into the room, into the present moment. And so it is.
So I'm going to play a song that I recently wrote only a month ago or so, and I was going to play it next week, but we have a guest musician next week, so I'm going to play it today because it goes with Reverend Guy's theme for December of finding the historical Jesus. And I had my own version of spirituality growing up that left me more anxious than probably was necessary, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. And so I wanted to write a song that I thought, what would I have listened? What would the message? What could have it been that would have made me accept it a bit more purely and less anxiously? So it's called "The Gift." Making my future self happy, it's gonna be great someday. Obsessed with the truth and hopeful some youth will hear what I'm wanting to say. See, I've changed relations with expectations, now I know why music's the best. I thought it was magic, but we're sort of tragic, we just wanna know what's next. We love to know what's next. What a gift to wonder. What a life to live. What a time to ponder. What a gift to give. Now I go easy, it's easy to please me, are things I'll keep telling myself. Though I try not to worry, as most things are stories, I seem to be selling myself. I seem to be selling myself. What a gift to wonder. What a life to live. What a time to ponder. What a gift to give. Birth of a dawn of a new way has come, and the child has something to share. As inside each of us, love keeps on teaching us, though it's scary to care. Slow down through the ages, they got us in stages, now we're getting up to speed. Still I'm at a loss if you're wearing the cross and bearing the burden it freed. Bearing the burden it freed. What a gift to wonder. What a life to live. What a time to ponder. What a gift to give. Thank you. Thank you. Please welcome Dr. Reverend Guy Williams. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, Jim.
I just love sharing the platform with you, Lee. That was fabulous.
We're talking the same thing.
We are. Liz and I were actually having a conversation just about that right before service. How we had created futures of misery and woe and all this other kind of stuff, and none of it had any anchor in any kind of truth at all. We do that. So this is the last talk for the theme in November, the Thanksgiving theme, which has been some thoughts about gratitude has been the monthly theme. And it comes from this quote that I want to give from Brian Swim, and then I'm going to go to Anna Lamont because she's always so much fun. But the quote is this: "The beginning and the end of human existence is awe. The beginning and the end of human existence is awe." And that's from Brian Swim. And as Liz said at the very beginning of things, wherever you are on your spiritual path, however you have found yourself here, does the spiritual path you walk encourage amazement and wonder and awe? Because that truly opens us up to insight and to a greater experience of where things are. So Annie Lamont says this. I'm going to read it from here because I just had this. She says, "Gratitude begins in our hearts and then dovetails into behavior. It almost always makes you willing to be of service, which is where joy resides. It means that you are willing to stop being such a jerk. When you are aware that all that has been given to you in your lifetime in the past few days, it's hard not to be humbled and pleased to give back." And so part of what I've been talking about in this month has been this kind of concept, maybe even a formula of recognizing that life is just an amazing gift within itself. That anywhere we look and everywhere that we experience anything, we realize how life is a precious gift. And the natural response to this experience of living in a gift is gratitude. And from gratitude springs generosity. And so we live in the amazement and the wonder and the joy and the awe of what it means. And I've talked this month about some pretty remarkable things that come from the avenues of science, the life-giving force of the sun, the enormity of the universe, and the language that we use for it. Sometimes the language that we have is inadequate. I was talking to Tim after service last week, and we talked about one of our all-time favorite movies that I quoted from last week, which was Contact, based on the book by Carl Sagan. And so I said, Andrea and I were looking for something to watch after Thanksgiving, and it was like, let's watch Contact. And there's this amazing moment do you guys remember the movie and the book? So in the movie, she's going through that portal in that space thing that they've constructed, and she's going through it, and she's seeing the vastness of space, and she says, "They should have sent a poet. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing. Not a scientist, but a poet." Because science is the language of the mind, poetry is the language of the soul. And sometimes the experience of the beauty of this incredible world that we live in, it is spoken through poetry and art. It comes from the heart. So this week I want to talk about 3 historic events. 2 you may be aware of, 1 you may not. You may not be aware of any of them, but you may be aware of all 3 of them. And I want to just kind of do some thoughts on them, because it's been where my mind has been all week. And they are these. I'll just have them go as I go along. But I'll start with this idea that I'm going to take a little bit of a turn today and begin by something that is happening in mainline churches today. Now, when I say that, what I say is that, we are a New Thought community, and we certainly embrace all religious traditions, because there's no such thing as one way to God. What we believe, what I experience in my own life is that, this dynamic symbol I call God it may not be a personality, but it is deeply personal. And just like in the movie Contact, it reveals itself to us in ways that we can know it and understand it and have a relationship with the divine. However that is, and whatever that works for as for you. You know, as a student of New Thought, what I know is that our early history is made up of some of the most amazing and interesting and most rapscallion characters there are. They were suffragettes and socialists and anarchists, animal rights advocates, scientists and mystics. We have people like Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great American poet and prophet. We have William James, considered the father of modern psychology, and William Defoe, all these interesting characters. And what it does is it offers us a sense of freedom. And with that freedom, there is a responsibility that always to me is be curious, not judgmental, of each and every path. What can you learn? How can you embrace? Where is the common ground? And so today in mainline churches, it is the last Sunday before the beginning of Advent in our brothers and sisters within the Christian community, and they celebrate this Sunday as Christ the King. And Christ the King was initiated actually in 1925 by Pope Pius XI. Why is he saying that, you wonder? Because it was felt at that time, if you think in terms of history, because, you know, as metaphysicians, as practitioners of whatever practice we do, it's always incumbent upon us, I believe, to hold everything in context. So nothing is random. Nothing just happened. Nothing in our life just happened. It's in the context of something greater. So we think in terms of what was happening in 1925, particularly in Europe. There was the rise of the Bolsheviks and socialism. There was a rise of fascism was happening. There was nationalistic movements. There was persecutions of different types of religions, and all these things that were going on. And the Pope, wanting to preserve the sovereignty of the church and the idea of what he wanted it to be, decided that they would celebrate Christ the King. This idea of this divine kingdom of the heavens that would be established and reign forever and always. And I want to play with that for a little bit because, let me get to where I want to go with that. The other thing that I want to bring into the conversation today is, and by the way, that date was established as November 25th, 1925 or something like that. It was the last Sunday. Anyway, so that's the historic context of that. So the other thing is, many of us in this room remember that this was the week that in 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And the reason he was assassinated is because of a speech he gave in June at the American University. In that speech, he said this. He said, "For in the final analysis, our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's future. And we are all mortal." It was a radical speech that he gave because the speech coming from a meeting with Nikita Khrushchev, but before that, influenced by none other than Thomas Merton through his sister, there was a conversation that occurred that said, you know, we've lost the plot, we've gone into the weeds, and maybe we should think about world peace. Because the bottom line is this, is that we won't give up our security for peace, but we're willing to sacrifice our peace for security. And maybe we've just lost the plot. And so they were in deep conversation about what would it take to move in the direction of peace. Dr. Martin Luther King, who was also assassinated during that period of time, said that all wars are businessmen's wars. And there was a movement. And it wasn't the first assassination. Malcolm X was assassinated. Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Bob Kennedy was assassinated. Thomas Merton was assassinated. And that's just in our country. And so what is easy to say is that religion causes suffering and war. But what I want to suggest is it's not so much religion or God that is the perpetrator, but maybe it's bad theology. Maybe it's not so much the beauty in the teachings of mystics who have brought us to a place of amazement, wonder, and awe, but how things become institutionalized, or maybe they become stuck or anchored into something anarchistic. And that brings me to the third of the things that I've been pondering this week. John Hott, who's one of my favorite theologians, says this. He says, "The point of theology, as I understand it, is to explore the reason of our hope." So if our theology does not give us hope, then we should question that, actually. But something happened on November 22nd, 1914. Anybody know? It was an evening. It was in Berlin. And a young scientist by the name of Albert Einstein was busily working his calculations and working his numbers. And something occurred to him that startled him. As he was making arrangements or equations to fit into the gravitational pull, he began to formulate his theories on relativity. Now, why, you would say, is he talking about the Pope and the presidency and Albert Einstein and the theory of relativity? Well, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because what he began to calculate, by the way, so concerned him that he wouldn't even trust his own math, that he had to doctor it a little bit to make it downplays, but it was actually other physicists who said, hey, we're playing with this, and if we take that little thing that you added out at the end, what we get to is this. The universe, as we know it, is expanding. Not only is it expanding, but the farther you get away, the faster it's going. So why is this so radical? Because up until this point, the universe was looked at as a static thing. It existed. We didn't know how it existed. We didn't know how it got there, but it's always been this vast thing. Even the Newtonian revolution, which began to say, hey, let's look at the cosmos as a giant mechanistic universe, even that had this large static thing. But here's what happens with Einstein, is the universe has a beginning. Not just a beginning, but scientists are able to trace where it began out beyond the clouds of Magellan, zillions of miles away, that there was a beginning. And they can even calculate when it was born, 14 billion and some change years ago. So what does this mean? It means that the universe and its millions of stars, billions of stars, millions of galaxies, this vast cosmos was born, is evolving, is becoming, it is unfinished. It is a very, very, very old universe that we can only surmise has a really, really, really long way to go. And that as it's going, it is evolving. And the conversation we are having now is evidence that it is becoming self-aware. So here's the thought that I've come to, not just me coming to, but here's the thought that I'm sitting with then, is this, is our theology is inadequate because at best it's medieval. Max Planck in 1932 said this: "Science cannot solve the ultimate mystery of nature, and that is because in the last analysis, we ourselves are a part of the mystery that we are trying to solve." In other words, it's not out there, it's in here. And what's in here is connected to everything out there. And that nothing is in any way disconnected from anything else, including ourself. And so when we talk about something like the unity of spirit, it can't be fit into a top-down model. Whether it's an Aristotelian or a Platonic view of the universe, or whether it's the view of the universe from Newton, they are inadequate. Our science is expanding, but our theologies are not. They are based on old models that no longer fit what is happening. And if we look at destruction and sadness and the troubles that are happening in this world, it is because our systems are stuck centuries ago, and we're refusing to look at what infinite possibility looks like for each and every one of us and what that looks like. And so from that angle, let's revisit what these ideas are. So the first one is this, is that, Walter Brueggemann, who is this incredible theologian and biblical scholar, says kingship, or the kingdom of heaven, or the idea of the Christ as king, mistakes it. Those are medieval terms imposed on something completely different. In the time of Jesus, this incredible peasant teacher of who he was and what became of his teaching and who he was as he embraced his own divinity would have been abhorrent. A king was something that was attributed to Caesar, to empire. What he was offering is something different. And what Brueggemann says is, instead of thinking in terms of kingdom, think in terms of commonwealth, or the kinship of God. Kudos to you, Jim. And so it's not the kingdom of God, but the kinship of God, which means we're all in it, and nothing or no one is better than anybody else, but that we're all supporting ourselves from the same point of view. And when we look at what Kennedy was saying at the American University, perhaps in his intelligence, he was prescient to understand something. That our ideas of security and what have you are just too small. There's an author that I like, his name is Brian Zahn, and I'm reading one of his books right now. And he tells this story about how he was on a train, I think it was a train, he was on some kind of transport, I think it was a train. It's whatever he was on, he was reading a book. And he was reading Dostoevsky. And he was sitting across from a young man who was also reading Dostoevsky. And they started a conversation. And the young man and him were talking back and forth. And he asked the young man what he was studying as he was in college. And he says, I have a double major. My double major is history and political science. And Brian Zahn said, how interesting. He says, how I see it, political science structures ways and how we can live together. And history records all our failures. So when someone like Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this world, what he's saying is, in essence, the antithesis of this idea of Christ the King. That the role of religion is to establish an earthly political governing force. It just doesn't work that way. It never has, it never will, not with any religion, not with any philosophical tradition. We are in an unfinished universe that is evolving and becoming self-aware. And that our allegiance is not to systems, but to a higher vision, a vision that calls us to see through the lens of our own confirmation bias. As Goethe says, one only sees what one looks for. One only looks for what one knows. And so, the way to move beyond that, then, is through amazement and wonder. Abraham Heschel says, Abraham Heschel says there are two ways of knowing. One is through reason. And reason is we take what we have already known and arrange it to fit into the thing that we're trying to understand. But the other way is amazement and wonder and surprise, because that brings us to insight. That brings us to that sense that life is a gift. We can't conceive the numbers that create the vastness of the universe that we're living in, but we can understand it archetypally. We can understand that when we try to limit it or institutionalize it or conform it to a certain confirmation bias of ourself or someone we have given power to, that inevitably becomes inadequate to the next level. So as practitioners of New Thought, we understand two things. One is that this idea of God is way vaster than any one particular religion. In fact, Talmudically, in Kabbalah, it says, if you are to name God, you limit what it is. It's the Ein Sof, that which is and is beyond that. But that it is deeply personal to each and every one of us to the degree that we open ourselves to the experience of it, to that place of amazement, wonder, and awe. And you can be a Hare Krishna, a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, and an atheist. It doesn't matter what. What brings you to amazement and wonder and awe? That is the path. But the other thing that's equally as important is if this evolving universe is conscious, because we're having a conversation that it is, then everything interconnected, that what we also begin to experience is that thoughts are causative. What I think, I create. What I dwell on becomes. So where my attention is what is creating the kingdom. And where I get distracted by that, where I get locked into it's got to be this way, when I have a religion that says that I must suspend the laws of physics to conform with my mythology, that maybe that is a little bit inadequate. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj says this: if you could only keep quiet, clear of the memories and the expectations, you would be able to discern the beautiful pattern of events. It is your restlessness that causes chaos. It is our restlessness that causes chaos. And so maybe the greatest thing that we can do is not try to devise some new system, but enter into a contemplation that our life is a gift. We didn't earn it. We don't really know how we got here, but here we are, and we're aware. And how generous and how wonderful and how grateful we can be for this experience of life. And that leads us to generosity. One of my spiritual heroes, Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, says it this way: see God in all things, respond with reverence, and be of service. And that can evolve. And that can evolve. And in closing, I want to offer this prayer that we've been praying all month from Toaster Silver. So let us pray this together. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it is safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel wide open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so that I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. All is well. And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Rev. All right, here's a little sing-along part for our gratitude-filled hearts. And it just goes, we're going to change one word every time we go through the thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for the breath. Thank you for this breath, Spirit, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this breath, Spirit, thank you for this breath. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful breath. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful breath. For this space, thank you for this space, Spirit, thank you for this space. Thank you for this space, Spirit, thank you for this space. Nurturing, nurturing, this nurturing, nurturing space. This nurturing, nurturing, this nurturing space. For this light, thank you for this light, Spirit, thank you for this light. Thank you for this light, Spirit, thank you for this light. Illuminating, illuminating, illuminating light. Maybe too many syllables. Peace, thank you for this peace, Spirit, thank you for this peace. Thank you for this peace, Spirit, thank you for this peace. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful peace. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful peace this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. One more time. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Bravo. Well done. Yes, we make it beautiful together.
Thank you for this beautiful song, beautiful day. Thank you, Reverend Guy. That was wonderful. Now we call this time Conscious Giving and Consciousness. And I want to say just a few words about what Hilltop means to me. You know, I came here probably about 8 years ago, something like that, 8 or 10 years ago. And Reverend Guy's words were the ones that I heard that I felt like I was coming home. Because I had searched for a lot of different paths. And this was a path that opened my heart and appealed to me. So that was, as I said, 8 or 9 years ago. And then through the classes that were starting again in January, I learned an awful lot. I learned a lot about myself, about life, and it opened my heart further, and that led to becoming a practitioner, of being of service. So this beautiful center called Hilltop means a lot to me. It's my spiritual family. It is a place that I have grown, and we learn to love each other. We grow up all over each other, as one of our wonderful teachers said. We learn to love and grow up all over each other until we are whole. And it has made the difference in my life. Truly opened up a path that I never knew was there. And I grew up in very fundamental religion where we lived in church. And again, everyone's path is different. And so this was my path, and I hope that you find that this speaks to you too. So if you choose to give today, hold your gift close to your heart and know that as you're giving, it's an energy flow, that as we give out, it comes back. And it's just a fluid relationship with consciousness that I choose to say thank you. And I choose to use a gift of financial help to this Hilltop Center. And I just bless everybody that chooses to give. And there's another thing that I want to say, that we are going to, Reverend Guy talked about this last Sunday. We have a pledge drive going. And what that means is simply a consciousness. Fill out one of these cards and talk about to yourself of what this place means to you and what you would like to give for the new year. Because we put our budgets together and we manage everything on the basis of this. So open up your heart, and I hope that Reverend Guy's words and Lee's songs and just the community fellowship that we share with each other means something to you and you choose to give. And so with that, we say, so it is.
So again, thank you. I just want to say two things before we move forward there. The first is that I was thinking about what Liz was talking about as far as the pledge drive. And it is true, we are a community that prides ourselves on financial integrity, and our books are wide open for anybody to look at any particular time. So we do that and we plan our budget. But there's something else about a pledge, and that is this, and this goes back to practical magic, which basically says that what defines us as to who we are is our word. Our word creates worlds. And so what it means to then is to say, you can count on me and keep that commitment. We're not going to come after you. We're not going to police you. We're not going to do anything. But it's a spiritual practice that basically says you can count on me for this. And then the practice is for you to live in integrity with that. And we'll love you and support you however that works out for you. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about. The second thing I want to talk about is, we're moving into a festival called Advent, which leads us to Christmas. And again, this is something that we embrace. It's kind of our cultural thing, and there's all that kind of stuff. And I know for many people who have struggled with the whole idea of what this means and all that other kind of stuff. And I know I have been on my own path. For God's sakes, last year at Christmas Eve, I talked about George Orwell on Christmas Eve. Where was I? So so this year, I'm embarking on my own journey of looking for and trying to discover the historical Jesus and how that historical Jesus fits into the experience of the universal and cosmic Christ. And so that will be our theme for next month, and I'm really excited about that. And we'll do a deeper dive, and of course it's in the context of where Jesus came from. So we'll talk about what that fits into, and Hanukkah's next week and all that goes through. So I invite you to come for December. And next week we have James Higgins, who is a remarkable singer. We'll have him as a great way to start off. So it would be a good Sunday to invite somebody. And it would be a good conversation for people, who may be ex-evangelical or kind of evangelical or nothing or something or whatever the case may be. So I want to say that. The second thing I want to do is just thank everybody that's here today. Thank you for being here. And all those of you that were greeting Walter and his family. I'm so glad we have another species here. And those in the gift shop, Patty and Noreen and Sherry, Steve, of course, making us sound good. Kurt, who's in the back there, getting food ready for us. Our musicians, Liz, who's going to be offering a prayer, and anybody else, if I've forgotten you, please forgive me. It was not by intention. So I want to thank everybody for there. And then the second thing is, or the third thing, or the fourth thing, or wherever I am at this point, if your heart has been touched in any way, please do not leave without prayer. That is who we are, and that is what we do. And there's different ways that you can get prayer support today. The first is you can come to one of the practitioners, and I'll invite other practitioners to come up to the platform if they will, except Terry, who's absolved, because she's got a thing there that will whack somebody's knees. So we'll let her stay in her place, but wave Terry so people know where you are. You can come up to any one of the practitioners and just ask if they will pray with you, and they will say yes. You can go to the prayer circle, which is going to be about 5 minutes after service in the Emerson room, and Liz will let people know about that. Or there is a prayer request table out there in the narthex. If you fill out a form, the practitioners, we get together, we have a Zoom meeting once a week, and we pray together for this community and for all the requests. So it is there, and if you would like support, just make it on the note, and one of us will reach out to you in any way that we can, because the thing that we do more than anything else is that we provide spiritual tools, and we try the best that we can to love each and every person into wholeness. So with that, let us pray our way away. A benediction, which means a good word. And it is a contemplation. There is one life. It reveals itself in all things, that nothing is separate from it. This evolving consciousness that proceeds from this divine beingness of which each and every one of us are a part. And knowing that what is spoken is moving into that morphic field, that it is anchoring itself within the very astral beings of each and every one of us. And so may each and every one of us today and tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that be amazed, be surprised, be woken up from the somnolence of the everyday into the wonder of the sacred. May it lead us to a place of gratefulness. And may we always respond generously, curiously, open. And so we give thanks. We let it be. And so it is.
I'm going to play a very wise song from that tumultuous time in 1963 as a reminder that through the hardship you just keep rolling forward. It's from Sam Cooke. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is its way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day when I go to sleep at night, I add up my day. I think of all the things I've done and debts I have to pay. But there is one thing that I know: while you reap is while you sow. So keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Brother, mind what you do and how you treat your fellow man. If you knew like me, you would do the very best you can. For if you spread good all around, you'll be able to sleep when the sun goes down. So keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day, sing it if you want it. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving. Happy Sunday, everyone. Thanks, Jim Jones. Yeah, Jim.